All right, this is section 7.1. So recall that two variables, again, this should be something you should recall from Algebra 1, is that two variables, x and y, show direct variation when y is equal to a times x for some non-zero constant a. Remember, constant means it's a number. So two variables show inverse variation when y is equal to a divided by x, and a is not equal to 0. A is known as the constant of variation, and y is said to vary inversely with x. So example 1, tell whether x and y show direct variation, inverse variation, or neither. So we have x times y is equal to 17. So if we can get y by itself, we should see, sorry about that. We'll get that y is equal to 17 divided by x. So that looks like our a is 17 over x. So that one will show us that it is inverse variation. All right, so now the next one says y is equal to x plus 29. So again, let's just think. Can you write that as y is equal to a times x? And you would say no, because we have a plus sign in between it. Or can we write it as y is equal to a divided by x? And again, you would say no, because again, there's a plus sign in between them there. So since that plus sign is there, it makes it so that we can't do either one of them. So this one here, your answer would be neither. And then the last one here, y is equal to, y divided by 10, is equal to x. So on this one here, again, if I solved it for y, I'd get y is equal to 10 times x, which would again be a times x. So according to what we just set up here, y is equal to a times x for some non-zero constant a. So this one here would be direct. Okay, so now we're going to kind of mix it up just a little bit, but I want you to remember both of these because you will see them on your test. So the general direct variation equation, y is equal to a times x, can be written as a is equal to y over x. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the constant, the number by itself, and we would call that a constant ratio because it's something over something. The general inverse variation, y is equal to a over x, can be rewritten as a is equal to x times y, and so that would make it a constant product. So we're going to keep looking at a couple of those. So example 2 here says, state whether x and y show direct variation, inverse variation, or neither. So remember, what we're trying to find out here is we're going to look for a, I've done that a couple times now, haven't I? We're going to look for a is equal to x times y, or a is equal to y over x. Again, if we can answer yes on either one of those, well, on the first one, if we can answer yes, that'll be inverse. And then on the second one, if we can answer it like the second one, that one would be direct. So that's what we're going to try to do here. So on the first one, we're going to say x times y. And I think I'm just going to kind of do this here for you. All right, so we're going to look at x times y, and we're going to look at y over x. And again, one of those is our a, and if we get the same thing, They're constant, and that means it will be one of the two. So 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. And 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. All right, so now let's just look at it real quick for y over x. That would be negative 6 divided by 2. Well, that gives us negative 3. Negative 4 divided by 3 would be negative 4/3. Negative 3 divided by 4, let's just keep it as a fraction. And then negative 2 divided by 6, well, that one we know we can reduce to negative 1/3. So now, just again, you're asking yourself these questions. Is the product constant? Yep, because it's negative 12 every single time. So we can say yes on that. Is the ratios constant? And this is kind of what you're asking yourself each time. And on that one, you would say no. So it looks like the only one we could answer was yes. So that's going to be A is equal to that one right there. So just from what we just said above, your answer will be on this one. It's going to be the inverse. That would be your answer. All right. Now in the next one here, again, we're going to look at them and see if we can say the same thing. So on this one though, here, I'm going to tell you, once I can say no, there's no sense on going on any farther. All right. So again, let's go and say, first one, we're going to do x times y. Then we're going to do y over x. And again, if I can answer one of those, if it's x times y, it's the inverse. If it's y over x, it's the direct variation. So let's see here. So 2 times 24, well, that'll be 48. And then we have 4 times 16, which is 64. Again, I'm not even going to go any farther because we can tell already our products are not constant. And let's try the same thing for the y over x. Well, 24 divided by 2, well, that'll be 12. 16 divided by 4, that's going to be 4. So again, I don't have to go any farther because we can already tell that our ratios aren't constant. Not constant, not constants. So on this one here, we can say the answer is neither. And then the last one here is the variables. X and y vary inversely, and y is equal to 8 when x is equal to 4. Write an equation that relates x and y, then find y when x is equal to negative 16. So they said it varies inversely, so remember from above, when it's inverse variation, we're going to say y is equal to a divided by x. All right? Or we can say a is equal to x times y. But let's go ahead and say y is equal to a divided by x because that's our definition they gave us. So we know that it varies inversely when y is equal to 8 and x is equal to 4. So on that one there, we're going to solve for a. Because again, that's our constant of variation. So let's see here. I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. And that'll give me that a is equal to 32. So now we can write our equation because, again, that's our constant. A is our constant. That means it's never going to change. So we know that we can now rewrite our equation as y is equal to 32 divided by x. And now we're just going to see what they want us to do is find y when x is equal to negative 16. So we're going to plug in negative 16 for x, and that will tell us that our y is equal to negative 2. So, like I told you, ladies and gentlemen, this one's pretty straightforward. Again, you've probably seen both of these before. They're just adding a little more to it. So now you can do your homework. Thank you. Have a nice